Good morning and welcome to the John DeVito Show. It is 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and this is what happens when you fall asleep at 8:30 at night. So last night, fell asleep at 8:30, woke up at 4. I've already been up for an hour, and I figured I'd do a podcast because I'm just sitting here right now with a few hours to go before I get to work and do all that good stuff. And this should be a relatively short podcast, but I got this idea from a group chat that I was on the other night. I was having a little bit of a political debate with some friends, and we were talking about future presidential candidates, and we were all throwing out, a bunch of different names. Some of my friends are more liberal, others are more moderate, and then a couple are conservative as well. So we were throwing out different names, and one of the names I brought up was Candace Owens. Now, she was a little bit further down my list. I mean, obviously, you all know me. I'm a Trump guy. I really did like DeSantis before I feel like he went globalist on us. There are others, Nikki Haley, that I don't think's bad. She's also kind of a walking the line of being a globalist as well. So for me in 2024, I'm all about Donald Trump. Now, people brought up a lot of different names. Some of them were pretty good. The governor of New Hampshire, who I do like, Chris Sununu, is someone that I could possibly support in the future, depending on what route he takes, as far as being, whether he's a true patriot or more of a globalist. But then I brought up the name Candace Owens, who I really like a lot. And I think she is a brilliant young woman and also a woman of color, which I think is a great thing. And I do think it's well past time in this country for us to have a female president. I mean, look at what the men have done so far. I don't think a woman can do any worse than what men have done historically over the last number of years. So I thought, I like her a lot. She's very conservative. I like a lot of the things that she talks about. And one of my friends brought up that she did not graduate from college. Now, she apparently went to the University of Rhode Island for 3 years, and she lost financial aid and was not able to complete a degree. So she left after her junior year. I was not aware of that. So when I looked further into her background, Candace apparently had some problems with depression and became suicidal in college and had some issues that a lot of us go through, especially when we're younger. So for whatever reason, she has never gone back to complete her degree, but she did complete 3 years of college and just did not get the college degree. So one of my friends suggested that she shouldn't really be qualified to become president because she did not complete college. And, honestly, at the time, it made sense to me. I agreed with it. And I was like, well, I didn't realize that she hadn't graduated college. And like many jobs today, you would think that getting a college degree would be like a prerequisite for the job. So I started thinking about it. I was like, all right, Candace Owens did not graduate from college. Maybe that means she's not qualified to run for office. I wonder if there have been many presidents or any presidents that have not attended college. So I did some research and I've got a list, and it actually kind of surprised me as to how many of our presidents did not attend college. So I want to get on the list of people, and there are some pretty notable names on this list of people that did not complete college. So let's get into that list in a second. But what is your feeling? Um, do you feel that it is necessary for a person to run this country without a college degree? And again, a lot of the presidents I'm going to read off were presidents quite some time ago. Has the world changed so much where it should be a prerequisite to have a college degree in order to become president? I don't know the answer, but my gut is no, especially when I read some of the names on this list of people that were very successful presidents without going to college. Now, number one on the list is our first president, George Washington. Never went to college. I mean, George Washington is considered one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. Obviously, the first president of our newer republic. Now, I didn't realize there were presidents actually before George Washington, and they don't really get a lot of press. And maybe I'll do another podcast about those sometimes. But George Washington did not go to college. James Monroe did not go to college. Millard Fillmore, Zachary Taylor, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Andrew Jackson, Grover Cleveland, Harry Truman. So, I mean, if you look at some of these names, I mean, Truman, considered a great president. Abraham Lincoln is obviously one of the best presidents in American history. And you look at the names again, I'll go through them again: George Washington, James Monroe, Millard Fillmore, Zachary Taylor, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson, Grover Cleveland, and Harry Truman. So Harry Truman was apparently the last president that was a president without actually attending college. So if you look at this list, I mean, it's a pretty impressive list of men who did not attend college or complete college. So when I circle back and I think about Candace Owens, now, granted, we're in 2023. Most of these presidents existed quite a while ago. And it makes me think, should Candace Owens or any other candidate that has not graduated from college be immediately disqualified for that job? I mean, personally, I don't think so. If you look at the way this country was founded, the founding fathers did not have in the description of this country, the Constitution, any of the documents that were written, they don't have anything mentioned about a job requirement for president in which you have to go to college. I mean, honestly, this is supposed to be a government for the people, by the people. And I think, honestly, that should include people that maybe did not go to college. If they're a qualified candidate, if they're an intelligent person, if they understand what needs to be done in order to move this country forward, then I think that they should be allowed to run for president and become president. I don't think they should be disqualified just because they didn't get that piece of paper. And you look in the situation of Candace Owens, she apparently went to college. She completed 3 years of higher education, but then had to leave because of a loss of financial aid. Now, if it was today, um, she probably would have been begging for loan repayment, would have taken crazy loans out that she couldn't afford and ended up, asking the government to pay them back. So, I don't know. I don't know what I think of this, but I personally, the more I think about it, like when I brought up Candace Owens, I didn't realize she hadn't gone to college or hadn't completed college. So to me, that made me think a little bit. It's like, like I said earlier, like, well, maybe she's not qualified. But, I think that we really need to look at all people. And judging by, the list of presidents that did not attend college, it really makes you wonder that, maybe the people that we've had over the last couple of decades, even though they have advanced degrees, and they, many of them, like, Bill Clinton went to Oxford. And I think it's almost become the type of thing now where in order to be qualified to be president, you almost have to graduate from like an Ivy League school or, a very prestigious school. And I would be one to argue that the presidents that have graduated from college, not all of them, but many of them, and some of those who graduated from Ivy League schools have really not done a good job as president. So, do you want to live in a country where the primary benchmark for a president is that they attended college, and not just attended college, but a prestigious college? So if you're someone even like Candace Owens, now let's say Candace Owens went back to school this year and she finished her degree at the University of Rhode Island. Now that's a state university. It is certainly not a university that is in the same league as a Harvard, as a Yale, as Princeton, as an Oxford, whatever school you want to look at, a Brown. It's not in the same league. I mean, those are Ivy League schools. People pay a premium of money. Usually the wealthiest of wealthiest people end up going to these schools. You do have some kids that get into these schools that are just very bright. They get scholarships that maybe come from more, moderate backgrounds financially. But is that the type of government we want? Do we want a government that is only run by elites who have attended prestigious universities? Or would it be beneficial in this country to have bright, young, intelligent people that maybe haven't gotten the formal education that some others have, but maybe they're more in tune to what the people of this country want. Because if you look at it, I'd be willing to bet that when you look at percentages, probably the majority of Americans have not completed a college degree. And again, I always go back to the thought that a government should be, for the people, by the people. And when you have just elitists and college graduates from Ivy League schools running the country, are they really in tune with the needs of the people themselves? I mean, if you've grown up in a mansion and you have servants and you've never gone to the grocery store because it's done for you, you don't have to worry about your educational costs because it's paid for. You have a trust fund to get you through life, and you never really have to worry about money. Now, don't get me wrong; that's a great way to live. Congratulations. If that's you, I tip my hat to you. I don't have that type of life. I have to work for the money that I make. And I went to a state university as well and did not have the grades or the means to attend a private institution like a Harvard or a Brown or an Oxford or et cetera. And I didn't have the grades, quite frankly, either. However, I do consider myself to be an intelligent person. So I guess by the standards that exist today, now I did complete college, but I did not go to a prestigious school. So I guess that would disqualify me for running for office. So this really got me, thinking. And my friend who brought this up did not intend to, I think, demean Candace Owens in that way, saying that she shouldn't be qualified for president because she didn't complete college. But I do believe that today that is the general consensus among the general population is that if you want to be president, you have to have a degree and it has to be from a good school. And honestly, that is what I was thinking. And I'm glad my friend brought up this point because I hadn't really thought about it. It's something that was just ingrained in me where I believed that you had to have an advanced degree or a degree from a high ranking college, but it really shouldn't be that way. We should have in this country the ability for for lack of a better term, regular people to run for office and to win. And I do think that a lot of times these elitists who are running for president and running our country are also getting these sweetheart deals with large corporations who are making campaign donations, and getting into politics is a way for them to either create or expand on their wealth and, of course, grab power. And that really is not what this should be about. This should be about a job where you're coming in and not looking to have a golden parachute pension for the rest of your life with health care, but it should be a job where you're coming in to serve the people of the United States of America and make this country better. Now, in my opinion, if Candace Owens did not complete her education, but she has the ability to come in and govern our country and turn it in the right direction for all of us, then why should that disqualify her, being that she did not complete a college degree? I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right. Now, Candace Owens is just the person that we used in our discussion the other night. But I mean, again, she's a brilliant young black woman who I think would make an amazing president. And it's unfortunate that people would discount her because she did not graduate from college. So again, going down the list before we wrap this bad boy up, keep in mind and let this marinate a little bit. These again are presidents without college degrees. George Washington, pretty damn good president. James Monroe, Millard Fillmore, Zachary Taylor, Abraham Lincoln. The man that freed the slaves did not have a college degree. Let that sink in. So, even though he didn't have a college degree, have you ever seen Lincoln's speeches? Have you seen anything about his life? Lincoln was an amazingly brilliant man who maybe did not complete college, but he was an amazing president, and in my opinion, one of the best we've ever had. Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson, Grover Cleveland, and again, another very well-respected president is Harry Truman. And apparently, Harry Truman was the last president that did not have a college degree. He did take some classes at Spalding's Commercial College, Business School, but he didn't complete it. But he turned out to be one hell of a president. So there you have it, everybody. This is something that was unintentional, and since I get up at 4 o'clock this morning, I had time to record a podcast. before work. But the big question is, should individuals be prevented or looked at and not considered seriously because they did not attend or graduate college? My answer is no. I think a person like Candace Owens, who has the ability to improve our country, should be considered to run this country despite not completing her college degree. For everybody out there, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the John DeVito Show. We're less than a week away from Christmas. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday with your family. I love all of you, and thank you for tuning into my show. Have a great day, and thank you.